So my number two is the Music City Miracle, and I think we have different what ifs for this one. So my what if question is, what if Wade Phillips wasn't a coward? And there, and I have a reason for this, and I think I have a good reason for this.
Yeah, I didn't think this was fair until I looked into it. So yeah, go on.
So this game is, if you're a Titans fan, 100% a miracle. There's some Bills fans I went to college with. You bring up this game, they just start mother bleeping everything when you talk about this game. They score at the end of the game to go up one. They kick a field goal, and they kick it off to the new Tennessee Titans, formerly of the Houston Oilers. And then they run this. Well, I'll let you explain the play. You actually explain it better.
The actual play itself, the Music City Miracle,
yeah,
aka the home run throwback. So yeah, Tennessee is trailing 16-15 after a 41-yard field goal by Steve Christie. 16 seconds left, and we'll get into why there was 16 seconds left. Lorenzo Neal takes recovers a kick, laterals it to Frank Wycheck, who throws it to Kevin Dyson across the field in one of the most controversial plays in NFL history. Was it a forward pass? Was it not? Dyson runs 75 yards, scores a touchdown, and it's game over. So that's the Music City Miracle in Tennessee, and it's I don't know if they have a word for it in Buffalo, but the play was called the home run throwback. But yeah, let's get into why there were 16 seconds left in that game.
Yeah. So, and this goes to my what if about Wade Phillips. So, without much time left in the game, the Bills kick a field goal to go up by one. This is fine. It's fine to kick a field goal at the end of a game and go up by one with 16 seconds left. The problem that I have with this decision is that it was first down. There was time on the clock. There was plenty of time on the clock to do something else. Run a play, take a knee and clock it. They didn't do any of that. They
had no timeouts, just to be clear. Buffalo had no more timeouts.
That's fine. There are still ways to stop the clock without calling a timeout if you don't have any. So for me, this is really straightforward.
Yeah, and it's almost standard practice now. You see teams do this all the time. I mean, just this year alone, I remember the Raiders doing it a couple times where they would kneel, do whatever, clock it, and then kick, like you said, with time expiring. So maybe it wasn't standard practice 20 years ago, but it is now.
Yeah, it's criminal. It's egregious. It's cowardly. It's so many things. So my what if is really simple. They take a goddamn knee, they clock it, and then they kick it with time expiring, and they win the game. And there is no miracle play that on a kickoff return. There leaves no shot. They just win the game because they don't leave it to chance. So if Wade Phillips wasn't a coward, the Bills would have won this game.
Yeah, I think they might have had to take two knees because Tennessee had 2 timeouts left, I think, at this time, but the point still stands. Run two quarterback kneels and you spike it and it's game over. Well, you kick it, then it's game over. And they had a reliable kicker, and it would have been a 42 instead of a 41-yard field goal, so a marginal difference. But yeah, so your what if Wade Phillips wasn't a coward during the Music City Miracle game, and mine, I guess, is kind of related to that. Because it's what if Doug Flutie started the famous Music City Miracle game instead of Rob Johnson? So just some quick background here is in week 17 of that year, the Bills played the Colts. The Bills had already locked up their playoff spot. They couldn't move up or down. So they started backup Rob Johnson. So Rob Johnson and Doug Flutie, went back and forth. They were a big QB controversy. Rob Johnson and the backups wax Indianapolis, 31-7, something like that. And the owner tells Wade Phillips, you're going to start Rob Johnson in the playoffs, even though Doug Flutie was the starter all year. and had led Buffalo to a 10-5 record, as a starter. So it was a direction from management. So the question is, if Flutie starts this game, who had a pretty good year, who was, a better quarterback than Rob Johnson, does this play even happen? Does Buffalo, wax Tennessee? Do they win this game? And it's really unfortunate that this game came down to this play, most likely because, a backup won week 17 and the owner made the wrong decision. So, yeah, maybe if Wade Phillips wasn't a coward and stood up to Ralph Wilson, they would have won this game too.
So the theme seems to be Wade Phillips is a coward.
Yeah, unfortunately. And this was also like the last gasp game for a lot of the veterans from the Super Bowl team, like Andre Reed, Bruce Smith, and Thurman Thomas were still on this team. And they said that they thought that they had a Super Bowl caliber team. I mean, both them and Tennessee were the wild card team, so it was impressive that Tennessee ended up making the Super Bowl that year. They lost that famous game against the Rams. But yeah, maybe Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, if only Wade Phillips.
Yeah. Okay. So that was my number 3, but anything else on this game?
No, I was young at the time. I watched this game, but it was so long ago. I just don't remember. I remember the last play. I don't remember the timeouts, and that's kind of why we call it 40-40 vision, right? Is everything? It's when you look back in hindsight, it's 2020, and
40-40.
Excuse me, 40-40. I don't remember the timeout, the no timeouts, and the field goal and first down.
You remember like the broad strokes, but the details, that's a tough one.